You're listening to Rudy Radio, powered by Rude Rangers Entertainment. I'm Terra Renee from African American Women in Cinema Organization, and this is Talk with Terra, a show that highlights fantastic filmmakers, artists, entertainers, entrepreneurs, business people, business industry leaders from all walks of life. We're committed to introducing you to these individuals, organizations, and powerhouse, as well as projects of which you're not necessarily aware. And we do this with the intention of uplifting, empowering, and enlightening you. If you can, please share this episode on all your social media. We also love it if you text your friends and ask them to tune in. Today, it gives me great honor and a privilege to have on today a woman, a powerful woman who is a walking legacy. I am so pleased to know her, and so grateful that God allowed her in my path to cross. Audience, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Dr. Woodhouse. Dr. Woodhouse, welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you today?
Oh, I am blessed and highly favored, and truly, and those words, I know many people use it, but I'm the living proof. Definitely. Thank you so much for having me.
Amen. Amen. Well, it is, this is historic within itself, this interview, because Dr. Woodhouse, in our community, and certainly been passed down through slavery, due to the fact that ignorance was what was pressed upon us. And even when Lincoln freed the slaves, said, okay, you're free, there was just no infrastructure of education and insight to move forward and have a qualitative life. And in order to have a great qualitative life, you need to know about financing.
Without it.
And it's just so much ignorant. Even today, Dr. Woodhouse, there's just ignorance about financing. And here you are, a pioneer that was on Wall Street. And I tell you, kudos, blessings. We love you just for that. But what drew you into the financial industry?
Well, that's a real good story.
Oh, good.
It's a good one. It all really started when I was 8 years old, and my dad told me that he who writes the check is free. So I was like, oh. So he's like, look, anything you want in this life you can have, but the person who writes the check controls everything. And so I was about at that point ready to go write some checks because I wanted to be free, but the only person who would take it is my mom. So I'll tell you, when that's why I said is people say, they're blessed and highly favored. I am truly blessed and highly favored. And I knew how to walk through doors. My parents made sure that I went to a preparatory school in the Bronx, above all places. But yes, I'm a Bronxite. And I went to Bedford Park Academy High School. And there was a Black teacher there, the only Black teacher, because the school was very small, and Mr. Henderson. And Mr. Leroy Henderson, I owe a lot to he was the business teacher there. And I only got to take his typing class because I was in college prep. And but he walked in one day and said he was having such a hard time. And this is what I say to young folks all the time is that opportunity will knock. You just got to know when to walk through that door. And so he was having a hard time talking about his tax office was being destroyed. And I just asked, Mr. H, can I help you? And he said, once you get out of here, graduate, yes. And so I didn't ask where it was, where his office was. I didn't ask what I had to do. I just thought it was an opportunity. So that being said, I went to work with him after I graduated from high school, and I was 17 years old, and I started doing taxes. Yes, I know we're not supposed to do taxes at 17, but hey, nobody stopped me. And so I got to work in his office for 2 years. After 2 years, he was ready to close the office, and I got the opportunity to buy it. So at age
Wow.
19, I owned a tax office. Little did I know.
Wow.
Yes. And little did I know, I thought I was going to law school. I didn't. That's why I said is, you don't know which way you're going to go.
Mm.
But the beauty in it was that um, my grad teacher years ago said that you find a problem, then you find the solution, and then you get somebody to pay you for it.
That's right.
Well, I found the problem was that no one was talking to our people, and that was in the early 80s. It was, matter of fact, 1984. I found out that no one in my community really did a lot on Wall Street. And I would send my clients, because during that time, not like now, there was interest on investments was averaging 13, 14%. So
Mm.
we had a tax level of 50%. So I wanted to get my clients tax freeze. I'd send them out to get the tax freeze. They come back. Nobody want to help me. Nobody wants
Mm.
me as the client. And I couldn't understand it. So I decided to go find out what was Wall Street all about, and why was it that we couldn't get clients, or why we couldn't be the clients, and
Mm.
if so, what did we have to be these clients? And ultimately, after going around trying to find out how to find somebody on Wall Street to take me in, because that was not the norm, and
Mhm.
again, you do things that you don't know that you're
Mhm.
not supposed to be going in. I didn't know any better. I went because I wanted to find out what could be
Mhm.
done. Ultimately, I did have a friend who got me into Omni Mutual at 2 Wall Street. And prior
Mhm.
to that, I was with World Financial Group on 120 Wall Street. I was just going. And and ultimately, it ended up where I got to really understand why. The why was the average investor had to have $100,000 in income and
Mm.
$500,000 to invest. Well, that's not my community,
Mhm.
and unfortunately, they were not being served. So
Mhm.
that's where my passion came. My passion came into rectifying a true wrong. And the
Mhm.
wrong was that we have money, we know how to
Mhm.
make money, and we know how to spend money, Lord knows. But we need to learn how to make our money work for us and how money works. And 66% of Americans in this country do not understand the simple, basic compound interest and how money
Mhm.
works. So, who's going to teach that to them?
Mhm.
So, that's how my passion and how I got my idea of being in the financial service industry was so necessary, because people needed to, I felt people needed to
Mhm.
talk to people that look like them.
Mhm. That is so true. I tell you, just so grateful. And we certainly have to do something, Dr. Woodhouse, at the film festival, where you can share with some of these entrepreneurs, filmmakers, because, again, to finance that type of passion, they have to be very creative,
Yes.
and a lot of elements and dynamics that go into it on it. I tell you, I am just I'm blown away. It's just amazing what you have achieved. But what was it like working in that environment, and you were the only one that looked like you? What was that like?
That was an experience, but I got to say,
Mm-hmm.
first and foremost, my
Mm-hmm.
wonderful mother prepped me for it, because she said
Mm.
it's not going to be easy out here, and
Mm-hmm.
you've got to know who you are, and you've got to
Mm-hmm.
stay true to you. If you can be
Mm-hmm.
true to you, then
Mm-hmm.
you can live out here. But
Mm-hmm.
that environment was not that easy. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, when I first got there to start to work, especially when I got to Omni, I was expected to. They thought I was going to be the secretary.
Yep.
No,
Mm-hmm.
most of the guys, it was 32 brokers.
Mm-hmm.
There was another woman, a white woman who was Jewish,
Mm-hmm.
and me, and
Mm.
it was not an easy situation, because you usually use um, the industry. You build camaraderie, with each other,
Right.
but it's
Mm-hmm.
also very highly competitive.
Mm-hmm.
And So you've got to balance that. But when you also have an element of someone not wanting you there, and
Yes.
what are you doing here? And
Mm-hmm.
why aren't you, why aren't you going to get me some coffee?
Mm.
Um, it's not that easy. And it was funny because when I first got there and I got my desk, they placed me next to the other woman, and she looked at me and she says, "You're really coming here? We're going to be desk
Wow.
partners?" And I said, "Yes." And I'm
Mm.
thinking, I got a friend. She says, "Good. I am so glad that you are here so they can stop messing over me." And I was like,
What?
"Oh, I'm in trouble." and
Whoa.
and it was a little messy. The guys were okay after a while. The best way to beat someone is to beat them. That's
Mm.
just do better. It's
Mhm.
not going to be easy. There were times when you want to throw your hands up and
Mhm.
say, "Oh, what am I doing?" And
Mhm.
during those years, the the environment was definitely different. I saw a lot of things that I had never seen before. I
Mhm.
dealt with folks on different levels, but my clientele was not the norm.
Mhm.
And a lot of people on Wall Street, we're known for doing cold calls. I've
Mhm.
done 2 cold calls in my entire career, and I got one piece of business out of it. And I ain't want to do that ever again. I need I need to know. I need to know my clients. I need to have some relationships. I need to build the trust, and that's
There you go.
what's so important. It's not just about the selling. Yeah, we sold. I sold. I did well.
Mhm.
But the thing
Mhm.
is that it's not just about that. It's about really helping folks. And sometimes you'll not make as much on the people that you need to help the most.
That's amazing. So we have to take a commercial break. We'll be right back. Please don't forget to share this episode on your social media. You're listening to Talk with Terra, powered by African American Woman in Cinema, right here on Rudy Radio.
Vera Moore Cosmetics and Skincare was formed to empower all women to feel great about themselves for more than just a moment. When it comes to a flawless complexion, skincare is the key. Vera Moore Cosmetics and Skincare is for women of all ages and skin tones. Be the more fabulous woman you were born to be.
I am Madame Francois, and I'm introducing my new luxury skincare brand that's available to you at an attainable price. Discover my beauty secrets, luxurious, effective ingredients with proven results, and a price tag that doesn't break the bank. Come indulge with me at lesmadamefrancois.com.
We need some vigilante crews. I'm gonna tell you what we need. So these little old jokers run around who shoot us, you gotta take them snipper pliers, cut their shooting fingers off.
Chicago is back in the national news. With 74 people shot and 12 fatalities, this is now one of the bloodiest weekends on record.
Citizens of the city can't let their kids walk on the street, be on the front stairs even.
It's a little boy that I know, he's 3, 4, 5 years old. He been shot twice.
There was so many bullet holes, and she was bleeding from everywhere.
Violence is the manifestation of our public policy failings across the board.
And this is sad, man. 11-year-old is shot. Boom, 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 boom. And a 17-year-old is shot in the face and dead.
I'm thinking to myself, I could be the next one to get shot, dead. Anywhere, right here, gone. In Inglewood. Forever.
It is a war. It ain't Taliban war. It's even worse. Facts. It's worse, man.
Hi, I'm Harry O. Confetti,
international Formula One driver. I spent to get to Long Island Telecom before they closed. I need to get one of these fantastic deals that Long Island Telecom has, because you can't beat the price anywhere else. Oh, get away from that car. What are you doing? Freaking kids playing with the car out there. Anyway, I'm glad I got here. Wait, what do you mean you're closing? I got to come back tomorrow? What's your number? 631-833-9679? Oh, stop writing me a ticket.
Welcome back to Talk with Terra. I'm Terra Renee from African American Woman in Cinema, and today we are talking with the powerhouse, Dr. Woodhouse, our modern day financial guru. Bless your heart. Just so happy to have you here talking with us and sharing this type of insight. Dr. Woodhouse, folks that I've talked to who express interest in Wall Street, going into the financial industry, they find it so intimidating, by the whole systemic way that it's structured. And they just don't feel that they could navigate through that process. And what I find, people who feel that way sometimes are the most gifted, but they are just looking at it from an external perspective. And unfortunately, sometimes they don't have the support around them to encourage them to take that leap. So how can we talk to these type of people today?
Well, I'm great, Terra, that you mentioned this. This is so important. Mentorship is very important. I did not have a mentor that was on Wall Street. Matter of fact, my mentor was in the spirits business, but he knew how to keep things going and also how to meet racism and overcome it. And so, when I got tortured at times, little things, stupid stuff like tearing up my referral book or, making it disappear or locking the ladies' room. So, little stupid stuff. But while that was going on, he just said, never let them see you cry. Don't get nerve-wracked. So I say that to say, yes, the investment world is a different world. We speak a different language. A lot of that was evident even about a few months ago when we had that GameStop thing and people were trying to understand what GameStop was. And I do a show called Access Wealth Nation on a Soul City Network. And I was just trying to get them to understand the basics. But for those who are interested in really getting into the industry, there is something that I didn't have. And that's the opportunity to have someone like myself who would be willing to mentor. I train a group of potential financial advisors, and those that are financial advisors, I train them in the industry. I also, in the mentorship part of it, I will go out and help them to show how they can help clients. So it's a different level. When I came into the industry, you got a script, you were sent out, and these are your quotas. Make it happen. Today, we do a whole level of financial literacy. So I think that's better even in our community, because instead of going in and saying, look, this is what you buy, this is how you're going to do it. And people will ask you without a doubt, well, what's the best thing for me? What's the best stock out here? Where can I become rich quick? This is not a rich quick industry. The Wall Street Journal's at a 12th grade reading level, so it's not neuroscientist. I wish it was. I could say, oh, I'm a neuroscientist. No, it's simplistic. But you've got to open your mind up and be willing to do something that we do very well. It's called work. The thing is, we got to learn to work for ourselves. No one has ever really told us how to be entrepreneurs. Right. And that's where the problem comes in, because we're good worker bees. We but we don't know how to build our own. And this is why, the whole element of Black Wall Street. And it was, again, a situation of where individuals were stuck in a corner. Segregation. I'm not going to serve you. I'm not going to take, I'm going to take your money, but you got to go around the corner, and I might give it to you, may not, all that stuff created, something that was so powerful. I was listening to an excerpt that was done on Black Wall Street, and the power behind it was, in our community today, if we spend $1, it is out of our community in about 4 hours, gone to somebody else's community.
Wow.
Wall Street, that dollar lasted 3 to 5 years in that.
Wow.
That's power. And that's what I want us to get to. So how to get there? There are thousands and thousands and thousands of people who need, a matter of fact, millions who need assistance financially. And again, I agree, it can get confusing, but we got to learn. And the only way to do that is there's a need for financial advisors of all nationalities. Up to the number of 250,000 are needed, because there are people who are aging out, So where the new people coming in, and how are they being taught? So if they want to, yes, even from those that would be interested, it doesn't matter now where you live. It used to be, I couldn't mentor you because you might be in another state. With technology, that's not so anymore. And just like we have this platform, there's other platforms we can use to work directly with individuals. So if they're frightened, but not frightened enough to take the leap of faith, then all they got to do is reach out, and I'd be willing to help. I have a team of about 15 associates now that I have mentored that can also assist, so it's necessary. It's necessary for us to have our own.
I agree, and thank you so much. And that's, everything you said was just vital. Certainly, one of the things that just stuck out is the new technology, because when we got started with the organization 23 years ago, it was very expensive, Dr. Woodhouse, to make a film, because you had to buy reels of film, reels of sound tape. You had to go and rent an editing suite unless there was someone who had editing equipment. And then after you bled to make the film, then you had to bleed some more to try to get it out there.
The distribution.
Yes. And I'm sorry, but a lot of those major distributors, they were not interested. They weren't interested. And so technology shift a lot of that, because now we screened the film one year that was made on this young woman's iPhone. She made her entire film on an iPhone.
That's so awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, distribution the same way. People have so many different mechanisms to create distribution. My thing is that we have to put ourselves in a position to be financially sound. And when you have an idea, no one's going to take that away from you, because I believe God gives us the idea, but we have to be able to have the funds. The story with Barry Gordy. He said, he had $800 he borrowed. Well, a lot of us have no family that we can even borrow from.
That's true.
It's like, well, I remember the story of Hershey, Melvin Hershey, and his Aunt Flo. And I said, well, you don't have no Aunt Flo. Okay, Aunt Flo is go. She done gone. And so what do? We do have to keep in mind legacy. I'm really big on legacies. This is that some generation has to sacrifice. So I'm a card-carrying baby boomer, proud carrier. And, the baby boomers happen to be the largest group of individuals in this country. We started out after World War II. There was 76 million babies born during that period of time. Hey, that's a lot of babies. We created a world that, toys were created for us, cars were created for us, homes were created for us. Where did we leave the legacy for the next generation? And even if you leave a legacy, where are you teaching the individuals so that they will create the next legacy? It's necessary because we got to stop asking. You know, my mother used to say, gimme got your hair. So you can't gimme. You know? And so that's why, you know, it's so important, especially to the artist. I've done a few seminars for artists. I did a Zoom with one of my associates before even during the pandemic, we did the Zoom. But prior to that, we went to Pearl Studios, and did one for the artist, because artists are near and dear to my heart. You know, I don't want the artists to be like the jazz singers of old that, you know, what everybody talks about now, talking about they were great. Yeah, but you didn't help them while they were here.
That's right.
You know, so, you know, with the women, African American women in cinema is so important. Who's going to tell our story? Who better? And I know I'm going to say a sexist thing, so I'll just get slapped for it, but it needs to be led by women, because they are the mothers of this earth. And so, you know, if we can get folks to understand that they put a little bit of money away continuously, and then when it's not only money, but for those who are really artistic, there's funds out there. And I know people talk about the funds, but yeah, there's a thing called Candid. It used to be called Foundation Library for Research. These are all the foundations that exist in this country. Because when people make money, okay, if you notice, everybody's got a foundation. Oprah got a foundation. Jay-Z got a foundation. Bill Gates got a foundation. Everybody got a foundation. It's because of the way the foundations work. It's a way to put money away, have it out there, and pay less tax. Okay, so you do these foundations, but where are they? Well, that's where it is now, candid.org. You got a good idea? Well, then, you know, put together, sometimes you don't even have to put a proposal together. Sometimes you just have to fill out a form. You know, but you got to go look. So here goes the work side again.
There it is.
And the thing is that now, because of all of the new technology, you don't have to go through like when I got in undergrad, I had a full scholarship. I had a real ride. Perfect.
Wow.
But grad school, they looked and said, welcome. So that's where I found Foundation Library, which now is candid.org. And, you know, it's filling out a form. You know, sometimes you have to write an essay.
There it is. There it is. Well, we have to take another commercial break, but please don't forget to share this episode on social media. You're listening to Talk with Terra, powered by African American Women in Cinema, right here on Rudy Radio.
We need some vigilante crews. I'm gonna tell you what we need. So these little old jokers running around who shoot us, you gotta take them snipper pliers, cut their shooting fingers off.
Chicago is back in the national news with 74 people shot and 12 fatalities. This is now one of the bloodiest weekends on record.
Citizens of the city can't let their kids walk on the street, be on the front stairs even.
It's a little boy that I know, he's 3, 4, 5 years old. He been shot twice.
There were so many bullet holes, and she was bleeding from everywhere.
Violence is the manifestation of our public policy failings across the board.
And this is sad, man. 11-year-old is shot. Boom, 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 boom. And a 17-year-old is shot in the face and dead.
I'm thinking to myself, I could be the next one to get shot, dead. Anywhere, right here, gone. In Inglewood. Forever.
It is a war. It ain't Taliban war, it's even worse. Facts. It's worse, man.
I am Madame Francois, and I'm introducing my new luxury skincare brand that's available to you at an attainable price. Discover my beauty secrets, luxurious, effective ingredients with proven results, and a price tag that doesn't break the bank. Come indulge with me at lesmadamefrancois.com.
Hi, I'm Dan O'Shea, Executive Director for Maureen's Haven Homeless Outreach. It is our mission to support the homeless in our community. we provide an emergency winter shelter program, a day center, and support services to help the homeless in our community. With your help, we can continue to provide services so critically needed to the homeless in our community. Please visit www.morningshaven.org or call us at 631-727-683.
You're listening to Rudy Radio, powered by Rude Rangers Entertainment. I am Terra Renee from African American Women in Cinema organization, and this is Talk with Terra. Our guest is the fabulous Dr. Woodhouse, who is laying it out. She's slaying it. So, Dr. Woodhouse, I tell you, I can just hug and kiss you to no end, because this is what we need, you know, and we've been hard pressed to find someone who was willing to share and say, hey, you know, this is where you can go. And so we deeply and humbly appreciate you, because there's some of us willing to do the work to help make it happen.
And it's out there. There's ways to do it, you know. It's like I said, our community is not void of money. It really isn't. It's just that we have the void, like you said, the void in the knowledge. And I have to say, there are people of color who are in the industry, in the financial service industry, and they're a bit selfish because they're only looking to see how they're going to make money off of you, and not educating. I don't want to be the person that says, do it because I say so. You know, just like we talked about Candid. I'm like, you don't have to take my word for it. Go look, go, you know, and if you wind up with a little bit of a snafu or a problem, give me a call. Let's see if we can work this out. You know, we have such an opportunity to make a difference. And that's what it's been throughout my career. You know, once I left Wall Street, we got the poets. My brother Matt and I did Hottest Poets. And I did that because my mother was a poet, and every time she went to do a show, they gave her a bottle of water. No money.
What?
And I was like, wait a minute, what's wrong with this picture? And so, you know, and I mean, she did perform Abby Lincoln. She would open up for Peter Sager. You know, they were out there, but they weren't paying. They bring the poet. So we decided to create Hottest Poets, you know, and get the poets out there. And we've had some very successful poets to move forward. But one of the things in our infrastructure system was to make sure that the poets started putting money away for their future. Because, you know, you get a good run and then it's gone. You have to put away for the future and balance it out, you know. And really, there's what we call 7 money milestones, which it consists of, you know, getting a financial education, understanding how debt works, making sure you have an emergency fund, because during those good times, especially for artists, those good times come and then there's some bad times. You know?
That's true.
And preparing yourself to make sure you have proper insurances. Anthony Anderson, I remember some years ago, was the spokesperson for National Life Insurance Awareness Month. And that's in September. And he said, isn't it amazing that we'll insure the flat screen TV, but not the person who bought it? You know?
Wow.
And those are the things we've got to think about, you know, even the fact that there's life insurance out there that has what's called living benefits. We don't know about that. Why? Because the insurance agent came to our door and sold us some term insurance, and that was it. Nobody talked to us. And we keep paying on it. So these are the things that we need to get to our folks. We need to build our wills. The whole idea that we had some greats leave this earth, Aretha Franklin, Prince, and they're still in court dealing with it. I had a class for continuing ed for insurance, for not for insurance, for taxes. And they used them as an example, especially Aretha. She had an $80 million estate. It's somewhere valued at about $40 million now because of all the taxes and the court, fees and things like that. We could avoid this. It can be avoided. But someone has to tell us how to do that.
That's amazing. So, Dr. Woodhouse, you're the founder of Anaj Enterprises, which is nationally based, a full-service finance and income tax advisory company. How did you get started on that? And do you want to talk a little bit about that to the audience?
Sure. What happened is, like I had said before, is that we were in a situation, especially I had the tax office, and that was Woodhouse Income Tax Service. And after it left Henderson, it came Woodhouse. I didn't get creative at all. And and then it was the fact that I had to bring the component of investment advising into it. And I was like, how do I do that? And so then it was people would ask me questions about all sorts of levels of anything that dealt with finance. I was becoming the go-to person. So I said, okay, got to change this business. So in that 2009, I believe it was, I registered Anaj Enterprises, which, if you're not thinking it real deep, Anaj is Jana spelled backwards. So I wasn't very creative, but I thought about it. And one day I was meditating, because I'm a metaphysician. So I was meditating and it came up. Anaj Enterprises, for all your financial needs, the go-to place. And so as I continued working with my clients, and I listened to some of the things that they would ask and the confusion they're going through. And then when it became husbands and wives and partners, and I was like, you know what? I have literally become a financial therapist. And then I found out there really was a designation for it. I was like, really? Wow. That's how Anaj Enterprises got started, was that I had already had the business, but pulling it together, making it into a conglomerate where people could feel, I trust you, and therefore I can work with you and I can bring you anything. And what I do think of Anaj Enterprises as being is that, yes, I may not have all the answers, but I sure gotta know enough folks that I can ask and find out. I just had a client of mine ask me about immigration. Now, I'm not an immigration attorney. I don't know, the rules and regs, but I do know a great person who does know how to deal with that. And he happens to be in my office suite, so referral, and that's the important part, that people feel like they can go to someone.
That is so true. And because money, when you start talking about money, woo, all kind of emotions start coming out. It's like almost like ransacked emotions.
Let somebody die, it becomes double ransack emotion. Lord knows. We fight over the littlest things when it comes. That's why a will is so important. A health proxy, something whereas if you don't want somebody to pull the plug, you get to say that, or if you want them to pull the plug when that time comes, what's going on with your stuff. A lot of our community say, well, I don't need all of that because I don't have anything. Okay, let's play a game then. Let's close our eyes. You're gone. Where's your stuff going? Where's your money? Who's getting it? Where's your jewelry? What's that? Where's that trophy that you got in second grade that you put up there? What you want to do done with that? Who's going to care? What you do? So you need a will.
Wow. That is so true. In our community, are there a couple of things that, you said a lot, Dr. Woodhouse, and I have a laundry list that I'm certainly going to go back and tell people about what they need to start focusing on now. But is there anything that you see on a constant basis as it relates to our community that we should start putting in our to-do lists and really start focusing on where we are at this juncture.
Definitely. There's the first and foremost, what we have to do as a community is stop looking for the get rich quick scheme. All the things that come out, we got everything from the cryptocurrency to the gifting. I've seen it all, and we've got to put our money into something that I call safe places, our safe money. Our safe money is for our goals and our dreams and our desires and our family legacy. So once you do all of that, then if you got some more money left, go ahead, have fun, do something, but you got to do that. And what I think that we really do need to think about, we've got to start to dream again. We've got to think about the things that we really want in life. They say that, I think it was Martin Luther King said that the average person really dies at 18 because they stop dreaming. But they just wind up in the cemetery after, we got to start to dream. And that's what I think that I would leave anyone to say is dream, and then sit with a financial advisor and create whatever you want to accomplish.
All right. Well, we have to take a few minutes and play some more commercials, but don't go away, because Talk with Terra will be right back. You listen to Rudy Radio, powered by Rude Rangers Entertainment. Please don't forget to share this very important episode on social media with as many people as possible.
We need some vigilante crews. I'm gonna tell you what we need. So these little old jokers run around who shoot us, you gotta take them snipper pliers, cut their shooting fingers off.
Chicago is back in the national news with 74 people shot and 12 fatalities. This is now one of the bloodiest weekends on record.
Citizens of the city can't let their kids walk on the street, be on the front stairs even.
It's a little boy that I know, he's 3, 4, 5 years old. He been shot twice.
There were so many bullet holes, and she was bleeding from everywhere.
Violence is the manifestation of our public policy failings across the board.
And this is sad, man. 11-year-old is shot. Boom, 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 boom. And a 17-year-old is shot in the face and dead.
I'm thinking to myself, I could be the next one to get shot, dead, anywhere, right here, gone, in Inglewood, forever.
It is a war. And that Taliban war is even worse. Facts. Even worse, man.
It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
Vera Moore Cosmetics and Skincare was formed to empower all women to feel great about themselves for more than just a moment. When it comes to a flawless complexion, skincare is the key. Vera Moore Cosmetics and Skincare is for women of all ages and skin tones. Be the more fabulous woman you were born to be.
The COVID-19 pandemic has changed our lives, but one thing that hasn't changed is the need for routine vaccinations. Vaccine-preventable diseases like measles, flu, and pneumonia haven't gone away and can cause serious illness. Protect yourself, your family, and those around you by staying current with routine vaccinations. Talk to your healthcare professional and stay up to date on all recommended vaccines. Learn more at www.nfid.org.
You listen to Rudy Radio, powered by Rude Rangers Entertainment. I'm Terra Renee from African American Women in Cinema Organization, and this is Talk with Terra. Our guest is Dr. Woodhouse, and I tell you what a joy, just a breath of fresh air to have Dr. Woodhouse with us today to talk about financing. And it's significant because we're celebrating now the commemoration of 100 years ago, Black Wall Street was made. and we were prospering, doing very, very well. And then the tragedy happened, and so many lives were lost over a lie. And from that point, just trying to rebuild to get us back to that point, it's just been a very strong challenge. But here we are 100 years later. We have Dr. Woodhouse, who we just admire so very much and honor because of the dues she paid and the way she made for those who are following in her footsteps, and teach those who are coming up the way that we and they need to go to have a more qualitative life. Dr. Woodhouse, could you talk about, or is there anyone in the financial industry now that you admire?
That's a good question. I'm looking. I had, in my days of coming up, Reginald Lewis was my idol. And I got the chance to sit at 80th anniversary of the NAACP. I got to sit with his wife, and that was the same event that Cicely Tyson was being honored. So I got double.
Wow.
It's about now. I'm trying to think of folks that I can look at, but everybody's on this self thing going on. So I'd have to give that a little bit more thought. I'm glad you asked that, because I'm sure that's going to come up again in my lifetime. Who do I admire right now? I do, though, admire what Oprah has done. I know many people talk about Oprah, but it's the level of what she's done is not just on the level of, entertainment or edutainment, as they do, educating us. It's about impacting lives. And so I do admire her. Of course, I have been watching as far as, and they're not in the financial service world, but of course, Michelle Obama. That woman is just someone who I see making leaps and bounds. And I know people are saying she should run for president. No, don't pigeonhole her there. Because she is truly educating our children. But the financial service world, when I look at it, I don't see people of color that are doing the things that I really would like to see them do. And that's an honest take. There are some individuals who have moved up, but they're still doing that job thing. I'm looking for the person who has, created financial freedom and built a financial world for ourselves. There's just so much that needs to be done, and so many people are still very selfish in that idea. So I think better is that we got the new younger generation. We can help groom them a bit, And there are some, unsung heroes that are out here working, and I've worked with them. I'm working with them, and they're part of what we call our Wealth Wave family. And I'll throw those names out there because you got to look for them too. It's James Wilkerson and Tony Stratford. And it's interesting, Stratford, I'm thinking that he had something to do with that family that started Black Wall Street. Back in the day, and Selwyn Farrell, and also we have Sean Drake. These are people who are up and coming, unsung heroes who are doing the same thing I'm doing, and on the same level. They're out here helping our community, focused in on our community, not only to our community, to all, but we are a people who are underserved. So yes, there are some unsung heroes out there, but they will be sung soon.
And we believe that. What is so unique and dynamic about this present administration that we currently have? The messaging has certainly been uprooting systemic racism, and really it appears that they're really seeking to right the wrong that have been done for so many years. And certainly we are happy about that. And one of the elements certainly have been, let's get more funding in the community. And I've been hearing about some possible programs to push that narrative forward. Dr. Woodhouse, what would you like to see the administration do, or what would you like to see in these unique times? I can position it that way.
I would like to see really the programs of financial literacy brought into our school system.
Oh, yes.
There's only 21 schools, 21 states in the United States that teach financial literacy at the high school level, and many of those are just how to basically write a check or balance a, we don't even write checks anymore, and what I see is that we spend so much time on something simple as, everybody gets sex education classes, but we don't have any financial education classes. They give us something that we know how to do. So I would love to see it and a matter of fact, every politician in my community, as they're coming out and running for office, especially on the local level, that's the first question I ask them is, okay, so what's your position on financial literacy? Because my dream is to see all of Americans, just like back in the days when people were illiterate and couldn't read a book. And now we've got less than 1% individuals who can't read. I want to see less than 1% of individuals who know the difference between the interest rate on their accounts and the difference. There's a thing called the rule of 72 and how their money will double. I want them to be able, when I walk into a room, say, how many people know the rule of 72? Everybody raise their hand. I want to see that. And I think that this administration could do it. If I ever get the opportunity to talk to Mr. Biden, that's the first thing I'm going to say to him is, okay, what you going to do about this? Because someone fighting to get or changing their life for getting a $1,400 stimulus check, that says our country, which is supposed to be the richest country and wealthiest country in this world, we're in trouble. And even when we get that money, what do? We go out and spend it, as opposed to moving it to another level and making it double for ourselves. So yeah, that's what I would see. And that's what I see happening. I'm on that mission, how money works. Stop being a sucker. We have a book that we distribute, says stop being a sucker. Because that's what, and that little story about being a sucker has to do with when we used to go into the banks, because we don't go into banks that much now. But when you get into the bank, you look to the left. When you get to the teller, look to the right. What you got there? There's some candy. Guess what they are? They're suckers. So they're telling you already. And not only that, but guess what? What kind of suckers are they? They're dum-dums. So they just say, boom, boom, boom. Let me just tell you, you're dumb, you're a sucker. We get your money. We give you 0.05%. And we get to make 20% off of it. But we think we save. So those are the things that that's what I want to see. And I know it's going to come about.
That is powerful. And I stand in agreement with that. Are you, do you sense that we are certainly in a shifting towards what you want to see in this particular era that we're in? Do you see a shift?
I do see a shift. I see that there's individuals now that are more interested in finance and money and how to make money. My concerns are that, if you wanted to be a doctor or you wanted to get operated on, you don't go on the internet to find out how to operate on yourself. So when it comes to your finances, people go to the internet and some are misled. That's the bottom line. They need to go to a financial advisor, and you got to know how to look for a financial advisor, just like you do a doctor. You got to ask them questions. What do what their philosophy is? If they say, well, you're going to do as I say, and I'm going to set this program and we'll meet every year and talk about it. No, that's not the one. You're going to, someone that says, I'm going to teach you. And just in case I'm not around, because that's usually what I say, just in case I'm not around in this world again, you will be able to take care of your dreams and your goals. So I see a shift. I see the need. There's a lot of stuff happening on the financial world. I know a lot of people are talking about all the different types of investments that are out here. And like I said, you need to sit with a financial advisor, because my rule is that if you have a plan, then you're planning not to fail. But if you don't have a plan, you're planning to fail.
That is so true. We have to get out of buying I heard someone bought like a $50,000 car and didn't even have life insurance. It's just absolutely mind blowing. Well, Dr. Woodhouse, I don't know where the time went, but they're telling me we have to go.
Aw. I've enjoyed myself.
You were just awesome, and I enjoyed you. I know our audience enjoy you as well. Can you please tell them how they can follow you on social media?
Oh, sure. There's a few things. They can go, of course, to Jana B. Woodhouse on Facebook. That's Jana B. Woodhouse. Also, Access Wealth Nation. Every Thursday at 6 p.m., I do a checkup from the neck up. And so that's also aired on Facebook. I have also Instagram is Jana B. Woodhouse. I keep it consistent. It's Jana B. Woodhouse. And the reason why I use Jana B. Woodhouse, number one, B is very important and dear to me because it's my mother's name. But in addition to it, there's some other Jana Woodhouses out there. And I don't want y'all to get that mixed up, because some of them are doing stuff that I'm not really about.
Okay.
So yes, I'm there. I'm also on LinkedIn again. And then you can also reach me at my office, 646-375-2121.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much again for being here, being a wonderful, wonderful guest. We deeply appreciate you and all the rare education insight that you have given us. And audience, thank you so much for listening to Talk with Terra. I'm Terra Renee from African American Women in Cinema organization. You can visit us at www.aawic.org. You can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Talk with Terra is made possible by Rude Rangers Entertainment. Our creative director is Rudy J. Breedy. Please don't forget to like and share this episode with as many people as possible. We sincerely appreciate you joining us today and wish you continued peace, blessings, and prosperity.